City Bureau found that police in Chicago public schools operate with no special training and little oversight from CPS and Chicago Police Department officials. The investigation reveals a segment of the city's police department tasked with protecting vulnerable youth who are instructed to treat working in schools like any other beat. More than 240 Chicago police officers currently work in Chicago public schools today. For years, Cook County Assessor Joe Driehaus' office perpetuated a deeply flawed system that led to inequities in property taxes, punishing the poor and small business owners, while giving the wealthy unsanctioned tax breaks and lining the pockets of politically connected tax attorneys.
The house I have is fine. Just leave the taxes alone and don't be assessing it for 3 times as what it's worth, because it's not worth it.
For the taxes to be that high, we should have a lot more things going on in our community to serve the community.
Driehaus was voted out of office in March, 9 months after the investigative series began. Years of dogged reporting by the NBC5 Investigative team into crooked cops terrorizing vulnerable Chicago communities came to a head in 2017.
Previously, we've told you about allegations of a decade-long scandal at the Ida B. Wells housing project on Chicago's South Side. Allegations that Police Sergeant Ronald Watts and his entire tactical team shook down drug dealers and framed residents. But those who have pursued the matter for years insist it has the potential to open up dark secrets in the Chicago Police Department.
As of this February, more than 24 wrongfully accused individuals have had their convictions reversed, and there are nearly 24 more cases on tap to have their convictions reversed as well. This WBEZ investigation found that constitutional rights of sex offenders in Illinois prisons were being outright ignored by the state's Department of Corrections, and that the department operates virtually unchecked with little transparency or oversight in this regard.
My name is J.D. Lindenmeyer. I'm 35 years old.
Lindenmeyer was arrested in 2005 and pleaded guilty to predatory criminal sexual assault charges. He was 23.
The original sentence broke down to roughly like 5 years and a month.
And how long have you been in here?
Hit 11 years, June the 12th.
Efforts to change the system from within and through local and regional advocates use the story to paint the picture of the problem and push for accountability. A 2007 Illinois law mandated that all newborns be screened for Krabbe, a degenerative neurological condition that can only be treated if identified in the first days of life. Chicago Tribune reporter Patricia Callahan revealed that the state lab never carried out those tests, condemning babies to needlessly short and painful lives.
This law has been passed and it allows me to be a more responsible parent. But because it hasn't been implemented, I don't have access to it. How do you process that information? 4 years after your child was born, this law still hasn't been implemented, and now we're at almost 10 years later and it still hasn't been implemented. Like, why?
As a result of the investigation, the state is now screening all Illinois newborns, giving the next generation a chance for life-saving treatment.